A pleasure to me all at last, and welcome back once again to Nerf Secrets Revealed Aftersought Part 2. So, of course you might remember when I had previously done an overview on the Zombie Driller. Basically the first piece when it comes to reigniting the Zombie Strike series, but basically being more or less just a shameless reboot of a well-known franchise. Well, it's time we get into the larger spectrum of things, because so far in 2024 this is basically what we got. 3 blasters now in the series, and this is of course the largest one that they've had to offer. A good $40 piece of mind known as the Corruptor. It is just pretty much a max system blaster with loads of different graphics, loads of different details, including a coil around a pipe, as well as some injection syringes, quite similar in a way to the kind of large pipettes or needles pretty much. And of course you have a large chemistry flask supported by a series of nuts, bolts, and etc., and a pressure gauge. This large amalgamation of different parts that are all pieced together here does make for a unique feast for the eyes, especially when you get into all the unique decals that they put on here, much like with the other 2 blasters. For the most part though, it's basically just what you might expect. It's got bolt action on the sides, which of course were originally removed when this blaster was in the box. For the most part, it's an open-shelled box as opposed to closed-shelled boxes, which still weren't quite common on Zombie Strike blasters. In the case of the Driller, as well as the other blaster of its type, the Corruptor does in fact still have itself a unique sense of flair to it. You got tactical rails, one on top and one underneath the barrel. You got yourself a good way to have 18 darts, and you even have dart storage in the back. So of course, it's basically what it is. Of course, getting this blaster out of here does require the usage of a mag release button, which is like this. Okay, there we go. For some reason it was misfiring. Oh, that's more like it. So, as I was saying, it does have dart storage right here, which in total can fit a good 6 darts. So, might as well take that into effect. And as you're pretty much seeing right now, we got slam fire action on this guy as well. So let's just see what we can do here in terms of reloading this blaster. This 18 dart clip, by the way, is basically just what it is. An exclusive piece for this exact blaster. It does have a unique zombie decal, basically representing the lineup that it's originally from. So much like what we had with the Driller's scope, for instance, this is a blaster that does have its own piece of exclusive detail and memorabilia. So I'm gonna slam fire through the rest of these. Just like that, we're out. Fresh out of ammo, but not to worry. We got invisible tests to do here. And of course, I'm gonna fill this up as much as I can, because we definitely want this to get up to the top as much as we can. But of course, while we wait, I would like to say thank you very much for all the support that you've given to me on this channel, and of course, with a lot of unique donations, we're expected to see lots of new material in the near future. So, let's see what we can do here. Oh wow, okay, so I find this to be impressive by all means. Not necessarily something that I would ultimately recommend, because $40 didn't really seem like the right call to make in accordance to selling off a blaster of this type. It's just as simple as you might expect, with bolt action, firing, and even slam fire, which is something you don't usually see on bolt action blasters like this. I will admit though that with the modulus Novatron, that itself was indeed a unique way to bring about bolt action on the basis of slam firing. But I feel like that slam firing probably would have been much more capable had it been for something oriented like the Raider or Rampage, where you just simply use the bottom as a means to prime the blaster, and it also does make it so you can go through it a lot quicker. Even with the Vortex Pyragon, for instance, that certainly did amount to have a unique level of slam fire, but it also made for a much bigger rate of fire than one would have anticipated. You just can't necessarily achieve that much with bolt action like this. Nevertheless though, with all the amazing details, graphic works, and unique shell as a whole, plus the exclusive 18 dart clip, bolt action, slam fire, tactical rails, and etc., I'd say that with all these put together, this does bring about a nice big scoring of around 8.3. And so, out of 10.1, there's still quite a bit of ways you could improve. I would say there's no real way to make the perfect blaster out there, but we have gotten very close, especially with such blasters in this season alone, like the Storm Charge, for instance. That alone was almost a big success, and certainly the biggest success we've had in Aftersought history, and we've definitely seen a lot of other big time winners when it comes to this kind of series as a whole. So the way I see it, there's lots of ways you can improve this kind of blaster, but I'd say we still got some ways to go, and with all that implies, we got lots of different things to talk about that are all Nerf related and all kinds of tests to perform on all parameters. So I'll see you guys in a few more days with more of this content, and as always, make sure to do the 5-step process, or as I always call it, the 5-finger commitment.